Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Wednesday, February 1st. And if we look at the headlines, we've got some pretty typical winter weather. We've got a cold front that's going to be coming into the area late in the day, and that could touch off a few snow showers. But overall, mainly just trace amounts. Some areas could locally see an inch from now until Friday. So again, not a lot of snow expected here over the next 72 hours. A system late in the weekend could bring perhaps an inch or two of snow. Again, that's a little bit in question. But what isn't in question is we got a major storm that's going to move through the country next week. The GFS splits it into two low centers, with the main one moving across mid-Michigan towards Lake Huron, and the GF has a single storm, a much powerful storm that would track up towards Lake Superior. That could bring us a little bit of a freezing rain snow mix at the very beginning, but would push warm air into the state, and we'd even have some pretty good thunderstorms as we got into the day on Tuesday or Tuesday night. And again, we're going to watch this storm very much in question as to the strength and where it's going to track. It could actually track further south and give us a lot of heavy snow, or it could track further west and give us lots of warm air, rain, and thunderstorms. So again, this is going to be the big story here, and it's likely to produce a lot of severe weather across the southern states as well. So something we're going to want to watch here over the next several days. If we look at the normals for the day, our normal high is 28, the normal low is 12. And you can see 25 degrees below zero in 1918 for a record low. If we look at the next shot, you can see across the U.S. yesterday, the highest temperature, 84 degrees at Cotulla, California. Not Tula, sorry about that. And the low temperature, 19 degrees below zero at Saranac Lake in New York. If we look at the conditions around the area yesterday here in mid-Michigan, you can see across the area temperatures mainly in the low to mid 30s across the southern part of the state. And again, we're ended up the month of January at 5.2 degrees per day above normal. So a very warm January and not a lot of snow. We ended up with about 70% of the normal snowfall. If we look at the precipitation of the snowfall, rather, over the last 72 hours, you can see the areas from around Muskegon down towards Ann Arbor certainly got in on some of the heavier snows of about 4 to 6 inches of snow in some areas. Again, Muskegon picking up some places around 10 inches, and then you get up about 12 to 15 inches once you get in some of the areas near the eastern portions of Lake Superior. As far as conditions around the area this morning, you can see temperatures again mainly around 30 degrees, give or take a few degrees, and we expect temperatures to cool down by late in the day as a cold front moves through. And if we look at the satellite view, this is going to be the big storm that's going to eventually move into the United States and come across into the Great Lakes as we get in towards the early and middle part of next week. So that's the storm we're going to be watching here. It's going to be a pretty significant one as it looks right now. If we look at the conditions, the radar conditions around the Great Lakes, again, some snow shower activity across southeast lower Michigan and across Lake Superior. This is lake effect as that cold front has moved through there, and we'll see quite a bit of lake effect across the Lake Superior region of the Upper Peninsula. And if we look at the weather map this morning, again, you can see that secondary push of cold air that's coming through, and that's going to bring some lake effect. We'll have some convergence out ahead of it with southwest winds, and that's what should give some pretty decent snow showers across the area. But again, not much in the way of accumulation. If we look at the weather map by Thursday morning, that cold front now off to the east, mainly lake effect across northwest lower Michigan and across the Lake Superior shore area where there are lake effect snow advisories for those locations. And then finally by Friday morning, that big system is going to be coming in off the Pacific, and it's going to get its size set for the middle of the country here. And by Monday morning, this is the low pressure system. This is the potential track in the solid lines, anywhere in between those. The way it looks now, with the best bet is that it would track across mid-Michigan towards Lake Huron. And again, that would put much of the MAC area in the warm sector. Although if the GF is right and it's not quite as strong, we could have a period of snow and freezing rain before that switchover. So it's something we're going to keep an eye on. And again, if it tracks further south, we could have a lot of snow for parts of lower Michigan. If we look at the snowfall forecast over the next 72 hours, you can see lots of snow across the Lake Superior shoreline and even in inland areas, and then across the northwest portions of lower Michigan, a fair amount of snow there as well, with just trace amounts to maybe an inch across much of the MAC area, a little more perhaps over in Newaygo. And if we look at the next 7 days on the GFS, this was a 0-0 Z run, and again it shows a lot of heavy snow across mid-Michigan off to the north. Now the 0-6 Z model came in and it has that snow line shifted a little farther north. The European would put a lot of snow in across the area from around Manistee or Ludington over towards Tawas from there north. So again, we're pretty close to this, and a lot of time this storm is still well out into the Pacific. So I think you give it about 3 days and we should have a much better handle on what might be coming our way. Even the GFS printing out even up to a ½ inch of freezing rain over by the Clarksville, Grand Rapids area. So again, something we're going to want to watch could be the potential for a significant ice storm on the northern fringes of that warm air and the cold air where it meets. And if we look at Weather Watch this morning, we got lake effect snow advisories across many portions along Lake Superior, and that's about it for the entire Great Lakes and Midwest area. Thanks for stopping by and have yourself a great day, and 73s to all.